welcome to another Daily Digest video. I am Ross Merriam. Today I am playing a Delver deck, as this hand so aptly demonstrates, but it is quite a strange Delver deck in that it incorporates what I think is the most powerful element of the Death and Taxes decks in Modern, that is Lean and Arbiter, with Ghost Quarter. And are there paths in this deck? Yes, unsurprisingly. Those are the two white cards in the main deck that we're splashing for. So very spell-heavy deck, which should make it easy to find our Ghost Quarters and our Field of Ruins, which are the LE lands of choice. We're playing a tempo deck, essentially, as a Delver deck. And there's really nothing better you can do in a tempo deck than LD your opponent. So getting 4 strip mines and making your paths not accelerate them, really important. And I really like the synthesis of what this deck is doing. So let's try it out. This hand, I think, is going to be keepable because of the potential aggression of having so many Delvers. We do have opt to try to find a second land, and then once we get ahead, we can hold up some counter spells, so I will gladly keep. Our opponent is on the play. That's not good for us. Death's Shadow? Oh, they're the black-red. The black-red hollow one Bloodghast deck. Ooh, this is their most aggressive start on Flameblade Adept. I'm tempted here to hold up Spell Snare in case they cast Cathartic Reunion, and then otherwise I can opt, and I think that's what I'll do. I also really want to find a second land, and then next turn I'll start playing the Delvers. And then, because tagging Cathartic Reunion is just such a high-powered play. I don't like this start. This means that if they Cathartic, even if I counter it, they can cast Hollow Ones. And this means that we're not seeing a Cathartic Reunion, although I think this also means they don't have an Enabler. They don't have a Faithless Looting. They don't have a Burning Inquiry, so that's good. Looks like they might have been digging for one. So if we find a land here, we should be in good shape. Ooh, Disrupting Shoal is another element of this deck that I like. Free counter spells are great. But here we would just need a land so badly that I think I have to bottom it. Ghost Quarter is not the land we were looking for, so getting a little punished there. And I think I'm going to play the Ghost Quarter and play a Delver. If I absolutely need to use Spell Snare, I can by Ghost Quartering my own land. But I want to start applying pressure to them, and that is a second land drop anyway. So if I find a third land here, another colored source, I can start leaving up Mana Leak anyway by getting the Ghost Quarter down, so there's some value in playing it. I still don't get got by a top deck Cathartic Reunion, and I start matching their pressure here. Because with a deck full of counter spells, I can't just take a bunch of damage from Flameblade Adept and then catch up. Okay, they are cycling the Hollow One, not surprising. Very aggressive on taking life here. There might be a version of this deck that has Death Shadow. Sometimes that is a thing. And I'm also not surprised that they had a Hollow One. They were definitely digging for another way to discard to enable it, and we were fortunate they didn't find it. Liliana here would be really bad. Those looks like a Dismember. Yeah, can't stop that. But now they're at 9, so my follow-up Delvers are going to be quite good. And I'm only taking 1, so this looks like a bit of a non-functional hand from our opponent. Oh no, they have multiple Death Shadows. Well, I guess it was functional in that they have multiple Death Shadows. So this is actually a very good hand from our opponent, despite not having any of the discard enablers. Yeah, we're under a ton of pressure now. It's a 2-turn clock, and I turn it into a 1-turn clock if I attack them, right? So let's say I take 9 here, that's minimum. I go to 8. the next turn, if I attack them for 6, even if I play this Arbiter as a blocker, they're 3, and each of Death Shadow is lethal. So I still do need to apply pressure here because I'm going to die to these anyway. I don't have any paths. I guess I could dig for one. I could play like Delver and then crack this and play Visions, but then I would need Path and a white mana. So I need one of those cards to be the random draw Visions and the other one to appear in the scries or be the third card down. If I just say I play 2 Delvers this turn by using the Ghost Quarter on my own land, yeah, then I can't both flip them and play the Arbiter next turn. Let's say I flip them, attack them to 6. Yeah. I'm in rough shape. May just need to find a bunch of paths. Yeah, I don't think the aggressive line is doing enough here. So let's just dig, and that is... I'm just dead. There's no way I'm dealing with these things in time. Okay, well, I definitely want to bring in more answers to Death Shadow. Rest in Peace is going to be quite good against Bloodghast and Flamewake Phoenix, which is usually in this deck. Don't know how good Timely is. Condemn is another good removal spell against them. And I kind of like Geist. I think I need to... Oh, I have 3 Graveyard cards. Do I want all of them? I'm not sure I want all of them. But I definitely... They're a bit of a threat-light deck, so I want to bring in most of my removal. I also like Geist. It's going to be hard for them to deal with. Puts a lot of pressure on them. I don't think Spellsnare is very good. It basically only counters Cathartic Reunion. I think these Ancestral Visions are pretty slow. I think these 2-mana counter spells also seem pretty bad. Maybe I want a Timely. That doesn't seem that good. Maybe I just want a 3rd Ancestral. I think I'll just leave in a Remand because it cycles. And just bring in max Graveyard Hate. I mean, that's a matchup where I don't think I can reliably get ahead, so the counter spells aren't as good. And I just want things that play to the board. Even though this hand doesn't have a 1-mana play, I kind of like it. Rest in Peace should be good against a lot of their deck. I have a path for 1 threat. I have Arbiter Ghost Order. I have another removal spell. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. Playing a bit more of a mid-range game plan in this matchup. Play our Seacrum Coast. Not that concerned about getting all my elements together really quickly. I'm more concerned about just answering their threats. Ugh. Well, I can't do anything about that. So I drew Arbiter, Seacrum Coast, Serum Visions, and so I just traded an EE for a Serum Visions. That's fine. Now with so many cards in their graveyard, even though none of them come back, I don't want to get Gurmag Anglered, so I'm just going to get this Rest in Peace down. The Arbiter's not doing a ton immediately. I need to draw land for it to be particularly good. Okay, well, Let's see what they want to take with this Thoughtseize. They might just take the path. Yep. Because now they get to play a Death Shadow here as a 1/1. Not great. Not great. Do I just play Geist here? I don't want to just play Geist. Yeah. It really prevents... It makes it pretty difficult for them to get aggressive with their life total to make Shadow big and to even attack with it if they don't have more threats. I could have Arbiter and Ghost Quartered them, but they operate on a pretty low lane count. They might have just had another one. Ooh. Still getting aggressive, making this a 3/3 and attacking. Do they have instant speed threats in this deck? I don't think they do. But I just drew a path either way, so that's gas. I can't play Arbiter plus path, so I'm just going to Visions. Bottom, don't really want either of those. Just going to mush for 6 and show them I have a path. I don't think they have instant speed threats. I think they were just trying to get aggressive, assuming I would be able to crack back. Let them draw first, path your thing. And now, just the Angel token from Geist is lethal. Oh no. I'll lean an Arbiter. Ooh, drew another path. So that's pretty sweet. Oh, they discarded 3 useless cards, so that's pretty good inquiry on their part. I guess now they just need a removal spell. If they have like a Fatal Push, that can deal with the Angel token and they can block the Geist, but I drew a 3rd path, so I can get wrecked. Could also just kill them, I guess. Oh wow, this is insane. So I get to play Lean and Arbiter here. I then get to Ghost Quarter both Blood Crypts that are untapped, leaving them with no mana in my combat step. And then I go down to 2 lands so I can play the Sequem Coast untapped and path the Hollow One. So I can't imagine what combination of cards they have here to survive. I mean, they can kill Arbiter in response to this first Ghost Quarter and make sure they get at least 1 basic out of the deal. Are they just floating mana here? Yeah. Oh, they just paid the 2. Oh yeah. Oh Jesus. Well, that was awkward. Even so, I just want to set up. Well, I screwed something up. Forgot about that little clause on Lean and Arbiter. But I still want to set up this path. I'm not sure they'll even have another swamp here for a Fatal Push on the Angel token. Let's set up a stop in my beginning combat. Let's path your thing. Probably don't even have another basic. Imagine it's just 2 swamps and a mountain. Yeah. And they did. Okay. So even them paying 2 there, I think my play was right. I just didn't... have full understanding of what was happening there. Um, do I want any of these cards? Is Vendilion Click better than Remand? We might be able to trade for something or attack them. I do think these counter spells are pretty bad. So let's try Vendilion Click. Maybe a Timely is better? Yeah, let's try Timely. Just being able to chump block some Death Shadows and gain some life if I fall behind, especially in the draw. That sounds fine. You can block down a Flame Blade Adept. I like this hand. Got some removal. And the Rest in Peace. That is very good. I'll be able to Disrupting Shoal a discard spell too. They mull to 6 and scry to the bottom. And no 1-mana play. Arbiter is fine, but not great. I just need to opt into a land here. I guess I like Arbiter mainly because it lets me more freely pitch this Delver to Disrupting Shoal. I could have played turn 1 Delver, I know, but I really want to hit the second land. I think getting Rest in Peace in play is very important. So let's opt first. I'm definitely going to counter this if I can, because it's what gets the ball rolling for all their stuff. And there's a land and a Ghost Quarter for Arbiter, so that's nice. Is it? Yeah, it's X. It's not X or less. If it was, I wish it was X or less would just be way too good, I guess. Because I'd love to pitch the second shoal here, but I think countering the Faithless Looting is important. Ooh, Cycle Street Wraith. Oh no, no second land. Oh baby. Even so. So if I get Arbiter into play, it's vulnerable to a removal spell. If I hold it in my hand, it's vulnerable to a discard spell. I think they're more likely to play the removal spell on it if I play it than they are to play a discard spell if I hold it. And if they had a discard spell, I think they would have played it on turn 1. So I think they're more likely to have a removal spell anyway. So I'm just going to get this Rest in Peace down. Oh, yes. So now I'm worried about removal spell in response to the Ghost Quarter, so I'm actually just going to play Arbiter and say go. There's no point in me overcommitting here. I could upkeep and force them to use the mana on their own turn, but then the land will replace itself, so I don't even think that's good. And now I can... Wish I had drawn a second blue source here. I could go, if I had a second blue source, I could Ghost Quarter with Hardcast Disrupting Shoal up. As is, I'm willing to throw 2 lands away to deal with theirs. So I'm just going to Field of Ruin. Actually, let's attack first. That way I at least get 2 damage in. I'm not too worried about Death Shadows here. I'd rather get the damage in. Okay. So now let's Field of Ruin your land. Modern is a fun and interactive format where everyone has fun. They did, in fact, have a removal spell, so our patience is rewarded. Now I'll just kill your land. We do lose my Arbiter, but they are landless. I have 3 things in play, 3 in hand. They have 6 things in hand, but I don't have any pressure. So I'm not that far ahead. If they start having to discard the hand size, I'll start getting ahead in total cards. And it looks like that's what's happening. But I'd really just like to find a threat and end this game. Well, that's kind of a threat. Because at a certain point, it'll come off and bad things will happen for our opponent. I guess them discarding hand size isn't that big of a deal because they have a lot of bad cards. Yeah, look, they're just discarding Gurmag Anglers. Okay, well, I guess I probably should have brought out these Snapcasters, but it'll be fine here. Play a 2-1. Commands some beatdowns. Ambush Terry So. This card, Flameblade Adept, is an interesting one. That seems like one of their better cards here. Ooh, another Arbiter. That'll cut them off of fetch lands, which I like. And increase my clock by a lot. But this game has mainly been decided by my opponent's inability to draw lands. Drawing 1 in 15 cards is not a lot. And they have decided to stop playing. But that is essentially what our deck is trying to do. So that's not a matchup that you can really tempo them out in, but our interaction in that matchup is very good. Rest in Peace was excellent. It shuts off a lot of their cards. They're a Landlight deck. We're able to shut them off. Counter that first Faithless Looting, I'm sure, was really critical. They could have gotten some hollow ones into play, which might have been tough for us to deal with. And they might have hit a land earlier. Who knows? But pretty quick game there. And one that you got to see, I guess, in game 1, the Ghost Quarter was pretty awkward. But eventually that LD plan came to fruition when we slowed down a bit in the sideboard games and just played our interaction, and then so almost played like a control deck where we interacted with them early, shut them out of the game, and then eventually killed them once we were really far ahead. So even though the deck is definitely designed to be a tempo deck, you see there it can play some different roles, which is really nice. Either way, hope you enjoyed it, and you can come back and see me on Monday. Bye.